Welcome to RYGR Sports. I'm Yash,
And I'm Logan.
and today we'll be talking about the NFC playoff bracket. So the first three matchups that we have up this upcoming weekend are the Rams versus the Panthers, the 49ers versus the Eagles, and the Packers versus the Bears. So we're going to be starting with the Rams and Panthers, if Logan, you'd like to start.
Right. So I think the Panthers kind of squeaked their way into the playoffs, right? This team really isn't that great on paper. One person you really have to be proud of, though, is Bryce Young. Because after last year, we really didn't know what the future held was going to hold for Bryce Young. And, I know they finished 8 and 9. They finished with a losing record. But you got to give some credit to Bryce Young, who, led this team to a playoff berth, which I don't think they've made the playoffs since, I believe it was the Cam Newton Super Bowl, right? 2015?
I think
Um,
they made it one more time after that,
yeah,
like 2017, I think.
2017.
I think
So,
so.
yeah, this team hasn't made the playoffs in years. So, you got to give a lot of credit to Bryce Young, who dealt with a lot of adversity through his first, year or two in the NFL. He finished with 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Not horrible numbers, not great. He got the job done in spots where they really needed him to step up this year. So you got to give him a lot of credit for what he's done for this organization this year, really stepping up for them. As far as their playoff matchup goes, I don't have confidence in this team at all to go out there and beat the Rams. You could argue maybe they have a shot at home. Home crowd buzzing. Maybe they can keep it a one possession game, but the line is 10.5 to LA. So, the odds makers are really expecting this game not to be very close. You have arguably the NFL MVP this year, Matt Stafford, leading the Rams to their playoff spot, and they had to play in a really competitive NFC West this year. They had the Seahawks to deal with, and they had the 49ers to deal with. So they're a really good team this year. They won 12 games. They have tons of playmakers and tons of weapons on offense. They have a good defense. I think Carolina is running into a juggernaut here in the NFC. The Rams are actually my favorite to make it to the Super Bowl this year, believe it or not.
Okay.
You take a look at the total for this game. They have it at 46.5, so a pretty healthy total here. Odds makers expecting this game to be pretty high scoring. But I also wouldn't be surprised if Carolina struggles to move the ball in this game against this defense. Obviously, you have a young kid at quarterback who's never been in this position before in the playoffs. You can't expect him to go out there and throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's just not going to happen. Um, so, as far as the entire game goes, I would expect a score of maybe 24-10 or 28-17, something along the lines of that. I think the Rams do win by double digits, and I think they make their way to the second round with ease.
Okay, I'm going to go kind of a controversial take here. I'm going to go Panthers 27-24 for a big time upset. We looked at the game earlier this season, and if I believe it or not, the Panthers beat them 31-27, I think.
Yeah, they did beat them earlier.
Yeah. So I think the Panthers as a team just match up very well against the Rams, and I think it's going to be a very very close ball game. I think in this situation, whatever team is able to have the best third down percentage, and I think a really underrated aspect of this game is going to be who can really run the ball, right? I think what's really important for the Panthers is that they really eat up the clock as much as they can, because one thing that the Rams can do is they can put up points very quickly. We saw it.
Right. Yep.
We saw it against Seattle. We saw it against Detroit. The Rams, their offense is high powered, very high powered, right? Only thing that's somewhat questioned about the Rams is their defense. And if Carolina can hold on to the ball and they can run it and they can really chew up the clock, they have a really good shot at winning this game, I believe. So yeah, for our for our next matchup, we have the Eagles and 49ers. For this one, I'm going to go 49ers beating the Eagles in another upset, I
Okay,
guess,
all
it's
right.
because of seeding. I do trust Brock Purdy and the 49ers a little bit more than Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I do think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I don't think he's top 10, but I do think he's good enough to win you some big games. I mean, we saw his two Super Bowl games that he's played in. One obviously he lost, one he won, and he played incredible in those games. Um, on the other hand, Brock Purdy, I mean, he was aside from the game that just happened against the Seahawks, he was playing phenomenal. I mean, he had 14 touchdowns in 3 games, and he was playing at a whole different level. Um, we have to really see if is Trent Williams coming back. I believe Kittle came back last week. And then who else? They're missing a couple key components on defense. Some who are out for the season, like Bosa. Um, I think here in this situation, if Trent Williams is able to play, I think the 49ers are able to pull out the victory. I'm going to go low scoring game just because both of the defenses are really good. I'm going to go 21-17. 49ers win on a late fourth quarter field goal.
Okay, well, that's definitely a very bold pick there. I'm going to take Philly at home. This team is not as good as it was last year. That Super Bowl team last year was insane. This version of Philadelphia is a little bit more vulnerable, right? You lose some key guys on defense. Um, so their defense is still very, very good. Usually most Eagles games are kind of lower scoring. They have this line at 44.5, so another healthy total. Eagles getting 4.5 points at home. I think they cover that spread. I think the Eagles win this game pretty single-handedly. I just think that rush offense and that big Saquon Barkley run is going to happen in this game where he runs 65 yards, 70 yards to the end zone. Crowd goes wild. The Eagles just control the game the entire way. Jalen Hurts makes a couple of big throws, and I think they win this game by double digits. I am going to take the Eagles 28-20, or I would
Double
say
digits and then
maybe
28.
31-20. I think they win
Okay.
by double digits.
All right.
Maybe a late surge from the 49ers in the fourth quarter, makes it a little bit more of a tightly contested game, but I don't think Brock Purdy is going to lead his team to a win in this game. I trust Philly more, especially at home. I mean, what the 49ers have done this year has been really impressive. I mean, this team has really gone under the radar this season. Obviously, they have Christian McCaffrey, who's one of the best running backs in the league. He's going to have to step up big time for this offense. I think their offense is going to have to work around Christian McCaffrey. He needs to see 25, 30 touches in this game, and they have to break down that Eagles secondary, break down the defense, and they got to control the ball. One thing Philly loves doing is they love possession, right? This team milks clock, they run you down, and then Jalen Hurts makes a big play or runs for a big first down, and that's how they win these games. They control the clock, they beat you down, and I think that's what Philly does in this game. The key thing for the 49ers is going to be their start to the game. You can't let Philly get out to a double-digit lead in the first quarter. If that happens, I can't see this 49er team, making a comeback. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's a great game on paper, right? These two teams are very, very talented, but I think Hurts, Barkley, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, that elite defense, I think it's going to be too much for the 49ers, and I think Philly cruises to a win here.
I think what's really important for San Francisco is that they control, like you said, possession. I think what the 49ers need to do is get into that game, stack the box, it'll be Philly stacking the box, but getting some runs downhill with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they gotta kind of relieve some of that pressure because one thing Philly likes to do is, they generate a lot of pressure. They can generate a lot of pressure with just 4 people. So, what San Francisco got to do is they got to keep running that ball. They got to keep the defense coming inside. So they honor the run, and then they got to start throwing it over the linebackers and stuff. Because if San Francisco can't run the ball against Philly, they I mean, they'll pin their ears back and they'll just rush
Yeah,
the quarterback. So,
exactly.
I mean, for the 49ers to win, and I do think that they will be able to accomplish this, run the ball, I think McCaffrey is going to have over 100 yards rushing. Um,
Easily.
I
Yeah,
believe as a
for sure.
team, San Francisco is going to need 150, 160. I think San Francisco has to beat Philly on the ground, not on the air. Um, but like I said, I think San Francisco does pull off the upset in Philly. Obviously, playing in Philly is it's difficult. I mean, they have very passionate fans, to say the least.
Mhm.
So it's going to be tough. But if anybody can do it, I think Brock Purdy and the 49ers can do it.
All right. Our next game is going to be the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears playing on Saturday, I believe it is, or it could be Sunday, at 8.
Yeah, I believe it's
This is going to be a crazy game. This is going to be my game of wild card weekend on both sides, AFC and NFC. I think this game is going to be, this is the third time they've played this year, so they know each other very well. They know how, the offenses work. I mean, obviously they're going to be studying an insane amount of film in the next few days to prepare for this game. This game is, odds-wise, the closest game, I believe, that they have made odds for so far. They have the Packers by 1.5. So essentially, this game is going to be a pick 'em, 50-50. Both teams have a shot at winning this game. Chicago getting home field is very important. But I do believe Green Bay comes out on top, and this is why. Chicago hasn't been in this position in years. I don't think they've won the division in a very long time because they've always had to deal with the Vikings and the Packers. Really, the Lions haven't been as good as they've been over the last 10 years. However, I think you put a guy like Caleb Williams in this position. Yeah, sure, he had a great season, but the playoffs is a whole different animal, right? This kid has never been in this situation before. Rookie head coach. I mean, I'd be very surprised if the Bears come out on top in this one. I know the odds say this game is very close, but I think the Packers do win this game. In the fourth quarter, I don't think that they control the game the entire way. I do think it goes back and forth. But, looking at both of these rosters, the Bears have the advantage on defense, I believe. Obviously, both defenses are good, but this Chicago Bears defense has been very, very good this season. And they also have beat the Packers this year. They won 22-16 back, I believe it was week 15 they won at home, right? So the same situation goes for this game as well, Bears playing at home. I believe that was the Thanksgiving game that they who won the
no,
Thanksgiving game?
it
Packers
was
or Bears? I think the Packers won, right?
on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was the Lions and Packers on Thanksgiving. The Bears played 2 weeks ago
Philly.
with the
Bears
DJ
played
Moore
Philly,
overtime
right?
winning. The DJ Moore overtime winner, if you remember, they got the onside
Oh,
kick.
right,
for him.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Packers and the Bears have split this season series one apiece. So, and both games were by one possession. So you can't expect anything less from this playoff game. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be crazy for this game. Chicago Bears fans deserve this game right here. They've, had a couple of tough years being a fan of that team. But I think Jordan Love steps up and leads his team to a big playoff win, right? The Packers really haven't been too great in the playoffs these last few seasons. I know they blew out the Cowboys, I believe it was 2 years ago. But other than that, they haven't really done much in the playoffs. I know they played the Buccaneers, right, in the conference championship that one year.
Who?
Or is that a divisional game?
Who are you thinking of?
The Packers and the Bucks.
Oh,
Tom
they
Brady was
played
on
in
the team.
2021. Bucks beat them
2021.
27 or 26, something like that. 31-26.
Right, so the Packers do need a playoff win. They finished 9-7-1, so really, they weren't great this season. They had a couple of problems, a couple of injury issues, right? Josh Jacobs goes down, Jordan Love goes down. But, being as close as this spread is, I think this is going to be easily one of the best games of Wild Card Weekend. You know, very cold atmosphere, I'd assume, in Chicago. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think the Packers end up taking it 2017. I think they pull away at the fourth quarter. Jordan Love leads them down the field on a big drive, and I think they barely squeak out on top in this one. But I also would not be surprised if the Bears come out hot and the Bears win the game as well. So I'm definitely going to be tuning into this one.
I mean, playing in Chicago is obviously it's very difficult. Soldier Field is known for being, an electric environment, very hostile environment for, teams that are coming in and playing. I believe it's supposed to rain the day of the game as of right now. It's supposed to be really rainy and really windy, and it's going to be very cold. It's going to be like 37. It's going to be rain, and it's going to be 30-mile-per-hour wind. So it's going to be a very difficult playing positions. As of the time recording, that's what it's showing. But I think this game it's going to be based off of Caleb Williams and Jordan Love making the throws that they need to in the big moments, right? We've seen in the past with Jordan Love, he's capable of making the game-winning throws, right? But we've seen other times where he makes like an ill-advised throw and that costs him the game, right? If Jordan Love's able to clean that up, I do think the Packers win. However, I do think that just because Chicago's playing at home in their environment, they're going to be a little bit more comfortable. They're going to come off hot, especially on defense. I do think it's going to be a very, very low-scoring game. I'm going to go 19-16 Bears in overtime.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in overtime.
Yeah, I'm going to go
All right.
overtime.
Yeah, that would definitely be a crazy game.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see.
When you look at Caleb Williams,
yeah.
When you look at Williams, it's hard to trust a young quarterback in this situation. Rookie quarterbacks and second, even third-year quarterbacks in the playoffs, it's very hard to trust because they've never been in this situation before. So if Caleb Williams goes out there and beats this team in the playoffs, he automatically gets my respect. And honestly, I would maybe even put him in my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL if somehow the Bears, win this game. So, Saturday night, 8 p.m., definitely have to tune into this one because this is going to be some old-fashioned defensive battle football, running backs running up the gut, all that. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for Wild Card Weekend on the NFC side. We'll also be having a video about the AFC Wild Card Playoff Bracket. And before we go, just wanted to give a few minutes to the Seattle Seahawks for getting first place in the NFC. The Seahawks are incredible right now. Offensively, they did look like they struggled a little bit, but that defense is otherworldly. The pressure that they can generate, their back end, their secondary safeties, they're all incredible. And I think if Seattle is to somehow go and win the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be on that defense, especially that front four and Witherspoon as well. He's been playing exceptional this year. It doesn't matter who he's going against. He's been playing very well, aside from that one game against Puka Nacua. But, that's the number one receiver in the league. So, But, yeah.
The Seahawks definitely have been one of the surprises in the NFL this year. This team has won 7 out of 9. So, when you look at this roster, it's not necessarily one of the best rosters in the league. They have probably the best receiver in the NFL this year in Jackson Smith and Jigma. But, outside of him on offense, Kenneth Walker is good. He's not great. He's good. Sam Darnold is good. He's not great. So, that defense has really carried them to a bunch of wins this season. And I believe if the Rams win against the Panthers, they have to play Seattle, and that's going to be a hell of a rematch right there, which I'm definitely going to be rooting for. But as far as the Seahawks go, I think they do end up giving the Rams a really good game. But once again, this team really, like the Bears, this team really hasn't been in this situation a whole lot over the last few years. And, I really don't trust Sam Darnold too much in the playoffs, especially after what happened last season with the Vikings when he goes out there. I think he led his team to 13 or 14 wins, right? And they go out and they get embarrassed by the Rams in the playoffs. So potentially he has his chance to, get his back at the Rams in the second round if the Rams end up winning against the Panthers, which I think they do. That's going to be another crazy game and a big redemption chance for Sam Darnold. However, I don't trust him that much. I'm taking the Rams over the Seahawks if the Rams do end up winning.
Okay, well, obviously I took the Panthers, so they'd go against the lowest seed, which would be, well, if Green Bay won, then it would be, hold on, I have to check now. Assuming that the Panthers won and the Bears won, they'd go against the 49ers, according to my prediction. So I would probably take, I mean, how much healthier can San Francisco really get? So, I mean, if they can somehow get back to somewhat full strength, then I'd take San Francisco. But as of right now, I'd probably take Seattle.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for our NFC playoff preview. If you guys have any, insight or any predictions of your own, leave a comment down below. We'll make sure to read everything, and we'll see you guys next time for the AFC side of the bracket, where we'll, talk about the matchups and everything, and let you guys know who we think is going to come out on top. So that's going to do it from us. We'll see you guys next time.